Hi everyone, Rachel here. If you've tuned into this video, then I'm guessing you're new or relatively new to Pilates. So I'll just start by saying that this is we're just going to run through some of the basics and some of the terminology that I'll use in the class. It should only take 5 minutes or so. So with that, welcome. This is, I provide an exercise-based Pilates rather than a clinical or a rehab Pilates. So you should feel your muscles working, but just when you're exercising, please don't push through pain that you experience, if you experience in your back, your neck or your joints. So I try and provide different levels throughout the class to cater for different abilities and different ailments where and injuries where I can. So with that in mind, let's just run through some of these basics. So the first thing we'll do, I'll get you lying on your backs, knees bent, feet hip distance apart, or you can stay seated and just watch. Okay, so lying down on your back. Now, when you fall into this position, you should find that your spine falls into what I call the neutral spine position. And this is where there's a small gap between your mat and your lower back. Okay, you can just put your hand under there. Okay, that's your neutral spine. The second spinal position I'll refer to is an imprinted spine. So this is where you imprint or flatten that lower back into the mat. And you're just tilting the tailbone and the pelvis slightly, but your butt cheeks are staying firmly on the floor. And that's your imprinted spine. And I will use that position when you're taking your legs up into something called tabletop. Okay, so this is where you've got the imprinted spine, one leg comes up in the air and the other leg comes up. And the idea with this position is that the knees are sitting above the hips, so they're not drawn into the chest, they're trying to sit above the hips and your shins are parallel with the mat beneath you. Okay, so those are the two spinal positions. I'll also be quite specific with the breathing. The breathing is breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Okay, and you're trying to direct this breath into the upper chest area or the rib cage area, and as you breathe in, it's a light flaring up and down of that rib cage. And the reason that I don't want you to have big belly breaths is because I want you to actually have what I refer to as your T-zone on. So the Pilates is about strengthening core, deep core stabilizing muscles, as well as training other muscles as well. So principally your transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor. And the way I cue people to try and engage with that is I refer to draw up your T-zone. So it's your pelvic floor is your sling that sits underneath you and holds up your organs, okay, stops you going to the toilet. And then your transverse abdominis is the muscle that's deep. It's actually one of the deep core stabilizing muscles, sitting under the obliques and sitting under your rectus muscles, but it pops out at the bottom here and it wraps around like a corset from your back and comes around and just comes here. Gives the belly, the lower part of your belly, that flat tummy look. Okay, now let's start on this T-zone. So I want you to visualize there's this T on your lower belly. That's why I'm touching my belly, okay? So the vertical line goes from the pubic bone up to just below the belly button. You've got a horizontal line going from hip bone to hip bone. So we'll call it the Terang T-zone T. Very funny. All right, so that's your T. So visualizing that still, you lie on your back. And we're going to try and engage that. Fingers on the inside of the hip bone, so try and feel for the TA. Spine is in neutral. You inhale through the nose and you draw up along that vertical line of the T as if you're stopping yourself going to the toilet or passing wind, okay? Then try and flatten across that horizontal part of the T. And some people think about drawing the belly button down to the spine, but it's a light engaging of these abdominal muscles. It's not a really deep contraction while you're doing it. Okay, it's a light engaging of these TA. And you may feel this engagement of the TA under the fingers at the hip bones, okay? You may not, and that's all right if you don't. Okay, so just do a couple now. Breathing in, as you breathe in, draw up, lift up is another way to sort of think about it. So that's the pelvic floor. Then flatten. Okay, trying to flatten that lower tummy. You're trying to draw these hip bones across that imaginary line, across towards each other. And then just release, let it go. Do it once more, breathing in and drawing up or lifting up. Okay, flattening now and releasing and letting it go. Okay, and a couple other things I'll be cueing you is thinking about your posture as well. So I'm going to get you to try and open the shoulders up and slide those shoulder blades down and back, okay? And you're trying to lengthen through the back of the neck and tuck the chin in, okay? And with that, that's some of the basics. So hope to see you in class, and thanks for joining me. Bye.